Hey there, Shanna here. Welcome back to my channel, all about finding joy while living well with autoimmune. I am so glad you're here. So, I was home from Yellowstone for a few days, I think maybe 3 nights, and then my husband and I went on a getaway for the weekend to go to Moab, Utah, which is one of our favorite places. We usually Jeep, but this time we just went by ourselves just for 2 nights. And I'm going to show you a glimpse of some of the scenery and where we stayed at. It was awesome. But first, it is now a new week, and so I am cooking dinner and doing some meal prep. And when I was talking to one of my clients earlier today, she was asking, I would love to see what you cook, get some meal prep ideas. And we were talking about how hard it can be to get motivated to meal prep. This is a common thing. I experience it. I don't know anybody who doesn't experience it, who is always like 100% jazzed to do meal prep. So unfortunately, part of my answer is sometimes you just have to do things that you don't want to do in order to get a result you really want to have. And I know part of me feeling my best and feeling so good is me planning and preparing my own food. We have a lot going on here. Zoe's drinking water in the background. I don't know if you can hear that. Tank's right here with me as I cook. So I'll show you what I'm cooking for dinner, and then I am meal prepping 2 meals after this as well. Alright, so I'm making some salmon. It is cooking in some ghee with some well-seasoned table magic garlic dust over it. Quick and simple. I'm making some zucchini that I wasn't washing carefully. This just has some salt and some pepper, some rice for the guys, and some broccoli as well. Roasted broccoli, which I need to pull out as well. So that's a pic of what we're having for dinner. We also had a random steak just in our freezer, and so we went ahead and pulled that out of the freezer. It's not quite enough for all 3 of us for a meal, but my husband threw it on the Traeger, and that is going as well, just to kind of have on hand for meal prep this week. Somebody might, have a little bit with dinner as well. And then I'll give you a sneak peek of what I'm meal prepping as well. We just got done eating dinner. Now I am meal prepping, let's see, what are these called? Ground orange chicken bowls. I haven't tried this recipe. It's by Unbound Wellness. It's gluten-free, and she is really great about giving tips about when something's AIP and when something's not. Tank is trying to see what is going on here. Oh, he's like my shadow when I cook. So I'm just prepping the sauce right now. We've got OJ in here, we've got bone broth, we've got a little bit of apple cider vinegar, we've got coconut aminos. I just put some raw honey in, and I have to show you guys this. So I usually have always used a whisk like this my whole life. Just turned 43. A few months ago we stayed at an Airbnb in Moab, and I discovered the mini whisk, and my happiness has increased substantially. So, in case you don't own a whisk, I got this off Amazon for, I don't know, I think I got a pack of 2 or 3 for a really great price. So, anyway, I am going to work on the sauce. I'm going to get the ground chicken cooking, and then a couple of things I did. So, this is going to be for my lunches, but also for Garrett's lunches too. And so I made extra rice with dinner and saved some, so that rice is done for his orange chicken bowls. And then I am going to use cauliflower rice, and I took a shortcut and I just bought organic cauliflower rice. So I'm going to cook this up in some coconut oil. And then another shortcut I did was we had roasted broccoli with dinner, so I just made extra. This recipe calls for broccoli, not roasted, but I love a roasted broccoli, so I just made extra, so I did a couple shortcuts there too. So the raw honey I put in the sauce was very clumpy, so I threw it in a saucepan and I'm just heating it up. Quick tip, also, when I'm cooking with coconut oil, if I haven't done my oil pulling for the day yet, I'll also go ahead and stick a spoonful in my mouth. I see Garrett behind the camera like smirking because I do it quite a bit, huh? Yeah. So yeah, I just like this, and I'm swishing around for a bit. Really good. I mean, it doesn't taste good. It's kind of weird, but it's really good for you.
Looking good. Looks like the steak is done.
So chicken is ready, cauli rice is ready. We're gonna pour in. Zoe's gonna let us know there's some people hiking on the other side of our fence. pour this in, add the broccoli, stir it all up and let it cook for a few minutes. We finished the orange chicken bowls. Next I'm gonna do easy egg roll in a bowl. It is a recipe from the same website. I will link both of those recipes in the description. A shortcut I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use bagged organic coleslaw mix, which will make this super fast. And then I'm also going to use actually grass-fed ground beef instead of pork. It's just what I have on hand. And let's go ahead and get it made. Finished. We've got the egg roll in a bowl. I actually browned 2 pounds of grass-fed ground beef because I was going to double it, but then I realized I'm leaving out of town on Friday. I'm headed to, actually I'm going to keep it a surprise where I'm going. I'll share that with you in the next video, but I realized I'm going to be going out of town again on Friday. I usually do not travel this month much. I realized I didn't need to double the egg roll in a bowl, so I just did 1 batch. So I have 4 meals of egg roll in a bowl, 4 meals of orange chicken bowls, and then I have a pound of ground beef already ready to go that I'll keep in the fridge that I could use to make like a Mongolian beef or some taco meat, or we could use it for spaghetti or anything else. So I'll have that on hand because I probably will want to cook Thursday evening, I'm guessing. One other shortcut I ended up doing with the egg roll in the bowl was I left out the onion just because I'm done meal prepping. I just feel like I was just trying to make it super fast. It's 7 o'clock. I think I started after like 5 o'clock. So 2 hours, we had a full dinner plus 8 meals plus another pound of ground beef plus steak. So yeah, not bad. Thank you to Blair, my husband, for doing all of the dishes for me. He's doing a little power pose in the background. Big shout out to Garrett for providing some awesome music in the background. He plays guitar and sings and is amazing. And it's just fun when, like, if you're gonna be in the kitchen, just to have the whole family here and like either helping or just talking or playing a guitar. It's just really fun. That's it for me for tonight, and I will tell you a little bit more about our Moab trip last weekend in just a little bit. One thing I forgot was that with these meals, usually we'll add some avocado, some fresh avocado when I eat them, and some sliced green onions just to kind of top them off. So it's a new day. My meal planning and prep has been awesome. It's been a busy week. We had both of our kids' birthdays yesterday. Fun fact, we have 2 kids and they were born 2 years apart. Our daughter used to say that she got a little brother for her birthday when she was 2. Super, super fun. So it's been a busy week with birthday festivities. I'm also getting ready to go out of town again in a couple days. And so I'm just hopping on here to kind of recap. I mentioned that my husband and I went to Moab last weekend. It was a last minute trip. We've always been really, really good about getting away just by ourselves. But it's been a minute since we had done it, and just things happen and come up, and it was just so hard to find time. And so last week, it was in the middle of the week, and we're like, hey, I think we can do it this weekend. Let's go. And so it was a last minute trip and it was great. So we packed up on Friday, left. So we live in Park City. Moab is about 4 hours away, 4.5 hours away. And we left on Friday afternoon and it was a nightmare. We got pulled over at a DUI stop, not because we were drinking, we don't drink, but because my husband's truck's windows are very tinted. We didn't get a ticket, but we got hassled quite a bit. And then there was like a road closure for we were stopped at a dead stop for like 30 or 45 minutes. So it was a very long time out. I think it took us over 6 hours to get out there instead of 4. So we were really, really thankful that we had our food. We didn't have to stop for gas or food. We were all set up. We had my Hot Logic heating up food. We packed all of our food. We usually don't do that on weekends away, but because I'm not eating out right now, because I just really want to make sure that I'm getting back on track with my autoimmune health, we did pack all of our food. It's very similar to how I packed for Yellowstone, just on a smaller scale since it was only for 2 nights. Packed my smoothies and my NutriBullet Flip. I prepped a chicken pot pie, Paleo chicken pot pie. So I will link the recipe. It's by Paleo Running Momma. It is yummy. So I made that and I portioned that out. So I had those for lunches. And then for dinner, I cannot remember. I legit cannot remember what I packed for dinners. It's been a busy week, like I said. I will show you pictures and videos though, and hopefully that will be in there somewhere, what I packed for dinner. And then my husband made a batch of spaghetti. I don't do well with tomatoes still, and he had pot pie also for lunches. It was great because we were able to just get in the truck in the morning, and we woke up on Saturday and just go. And so we stayed at this incredible resort called ULUM. I'm not sure if that's how you say it. It's ULUM, and it's just if you're coming like from Utah Valley into Moab from Price, not sure if that made sense. It's on the other side of Moab. So you go through downtown, you go through Spanish Valley, and it's on the other side out by Looking Glass Arch. And it is beautiful. It is glamping to the max, like so nice. These tents even have like coolers in them. They have big wood burning fires in them. They have electricity. It was fantastic. And there is nothing around, so the stars at night were just like out of this world incredible. That's where we stayed. We loved it. It was windy the last morning that we were there, and the tent was really loud, but it wasn't like that while we slept, so we didn't have any like noise issues or anything like that. We were plenty warm. Saturday morning we got up, packed up, went to the LaSalle Mountains, LaSalle, I don't know how you say it, LaSalle Mountains, which we have never been. We've been to Moab tons of times. We've never been up into the mountains, and it is like a huge contrast from like the desert Red Rock Moab area, which we love. We go off-roading multiple times a year. We go hiking in Arches. We do other hikes. So next time we go down for off-roading and jeeping, I'll show you how I do that while supporting my health, and I'll also show you some incredible Red Rock, beautiful scenery. This time we did the LaSalle Mountains. Now it is high altitude, but we live at high altitude, so we were good. We have the Alltrails app, which you just look up the hike that you're interested in and you download it before you go so that you have access to it even when you don't have cell service anymore. The hike that we picked out, apparently we typed something in wrong because it took us to a different hike. So we ended up at Warner Lake, and it was beautiful. So we ate there. We did like a little picnic there, and then we started going on this. We realized that even though we were at Warner Lake and we were trying to get to Uwa Lake, that there was a trail that we could go to get to Uwa Lake, and that Clark Lake Loop trail that we wanted to hike. And so we started on the Warner Lake trail to get down there, and it was like straight downhill. And like once we got to a certain point, and we realized that after, let's see, so it was 2 miles there, it was a 2-mile loop, and it would have been 2 miles back. So after 4 miles, we would have been going straight uphill. And so we got about a mile in and decided, well, you know what, we're good. We're just gonna hike back and drive down to the other hike. So we walked back up. There's also cows and cattle everywhere, and we didn't have any issues with them. But I later read a review of that trail, and apparently somebody got charged by a cow and its calf. We saw tons of cows. They didn't charge us. They didn't look like happy to see us, but it was fine. So anyways, that was beautiful. We picnicked there, drove back down to Uwa Lake, which is beautiful. Even if you don't want to hike, if you're not in a position where hiking feels like a supportive thing to you, Uwa Lake is gorgeous. You can park right there, bring some cash. It's $5 if you have a annual national parks pass. It's $10 if you don't. Bring a chair, bring your lunch. I had a smoothie and my husband had a protein shake before we went on the first hike up at Warner Lake. And there's a couple bathrooms up there too. And then at Uwa Lake, we had our lunch. So we got out our chairs and we had lunch by this beautiful lake. It was awesome. We had the lake to ourselves for part of the time. It was not crowded, and it was a Saturday in September. Some of the colors had started to change, but we are like a week or two early for like the beautiful color change in the fall. So after that, we just like hung out for a bit, sat, talked, enjoyed the beautiful lake, and then we put the chairs away and we went on the Clark Lake Loop hike, which the beginning of it was steep. We thought, so I did not plan the hikes very good this time. We had our food situation figured out. We had awesome accommodations, but I did not. We actually weren't planning on hiking originally. We were planning on just like hanging out at the resort, and then we just got up and thought, let's go to the mountains. We haven't done this before, and then let's find a hike. And I thought I had picked out an easy hike, and we were doing it, and then at the end I was like, Blair, that was not an easy hike. There's no way. And sure enough, it was like, I think it was a hard hike. So anyways, if you're like a really intense hiker, you probably won't think it's hard. So you start at Uwa Lake and you end up by Clark Lake, and we only saw 2 people the entire hike, and they were on the trails. So it was empty, it was quiet, we were by ourselves. I was a little concerned about seeing a black bear because a black bear had been spotted in the area a couple weeks prior, and we didn't have our bear spray. We were fine. Saw lots of deer. We saw some cows on that trail too. Watch out for cow poop on the trail. It was just beautiful. It does go through like a burn area, so just a heads up there. And some of the trails like narrow. I wish I'd had on pants. I had on shorts. It was like 80 that day, so I wish I'd had on pants just because of some of the trail is narrow. It's like a lot of like bushes there. And then we came back and we headed back into town after that. So all in all, we hiked between the 2 hikes. I think we hiked 5-ish miles. It was so fun. The one huge problem we had with that weekend was right now, or at the time that we went, which it's still like just a few days after as I'm filming this, there are these rabbit brush, I think is what it's called, is in bloom right now with these yellow flowers here in Park City and also in the La Salle Mountains and Moab, and my husband is crazy allergic to them. And so he ended up with a horrible allergic reaction Saturday, and so he was miserable, and we didn't know what was going on at first. We're from Southern California, and so we've been up here for years. We kind of thought he was allergic to them. He does not get allergies. It's rare, but once a year for a few weeks he gets these allergies. And we had local bee pollen on hand at home, but he hadn't been taking it, so he had a bad reaction. Local bee pollen can be really helpful for helping with allergies for some people. He ended up really not feeling well, but we went back into town. We checked out Ken's Lake. We were thinking about paddleboarding there, but we didn't. We decided to go into Arches National Park. So April through October, you have to have a reservation to go into Arches between 7 a.m. and 4 p.m. This was after 4 p.m. We didn't have a reservation, so we just went in, and we went up to Panorama Point, which is a fantastic point in Arches to look at stars at night or to have a picnic. We got out our chairs and ate our dinner there. And so we had been heating up our food in the Hot Logic in the car on the way there. And so that's where we had dinner, and we just sat and talked, enjoyed our time, and then we went back to our place, spent the night. My husband was in horrible shape by this time, and so we were gonna do some things on Sunday also, and we decided we need to get him home. Ended up just getting up and getting him home, and we just ate our breakfast along the way. It was a great couple of days, but yeah, if you're allergic to rabbit brush, not this time of year in Moab or Park City. Not gonna be fun. That's what we did. That's how we did it. And I just want to also answer real quick one frequently asked question that I get. Somebody reached out to me via Instagram DM, and they said, hey Shanna, I know it's been a while, are you still not taking any thyroid meds? I was diagnosed with Hashimoto's in January 2018 at my rock bottom, and my doctor said come back in a few months and we will put you on some meds, because at that point you'll probably be at the levels where you need them, which was bananas to me because I was feeling so awful, but I said, okay, I'll be back, you know. And then I ended up starting my holistic journey, and I never, when I, you know, would go back and get my blood work done, my numbers were actually not at a point where I ever needed any medicine. My antibodies have gradually come down. It didn't happen immediately. Now it's what it's been over 6 years, and my levels are still doing well. So I'm not on thyroid meds. I'm able to do really well with holistically managing my Hashimoto. So through, you know, nutrition and lifestyle and all of that stuff. So if you have any other questions for me, drop them in the comments, or you can DM me on Instagram. On Instagram, I'm Shanna Nemro. Be sure to subscribe so you'll be updated when I drop new YouTube videos. I'll be packing up again and headed out again. I usually do not travel this much. I think I counted and I'm gone like 5 or 6 weekends in a row. So this is really unusual, but I'll bring you along and show you how I do things and how things are going. Just know I'm sending you so much love and support. I know autoimmune journeys are so hard, and you are not alone. I am with you, and let's do this together. I don't know what I'm doing with my arm. This is the mountain.